Hello everyone, this is Raven's Mapping. Welcome for the summary for the day of the 17th April 2023. So for today we have some interesting informations, despite that it was like Orthodox Easter this weekend. But to start, I mean just to explain what happened, the main events, like what's happening on the front line. So in the Kupiansk front line, the front is mostly static. There is nothing happening. It's stable. In the Svatovo-Kreminaya front line, there is apparently some attacks around Stelmakovka in this area, and there is the front line being stable up until, like, yeah, in general the whole front line is stable up until the forests. And when talking about the forest, the Kreminaya forest, it's a lot of fighting is happening right now, as usual, you will say, but there is geolocations and there is map changes. So this front line is still the most important front line right now for the Svatovo-Kreminaya front line. I'm talking for the Lugansk region. Then for Bilogorovka, there is fighting happening, but I don't think I have any geolocations. There is a lot of fightings, like shelling and things like that, especially shelling on the small town of Spirne. And it's interesting because this is a very small town, but it's like every day there is videos from the Russians attacking this town. So it's rare that you have a video every day from the same location. So it means that there is an effort on this area, on the Sivers front line. Then you have very interesting information. The Ukrainians launched an attack on Sako Ivan City in the north of Bakhmut, but it was repelled. But it's interesting that the Ukrainians actually tried to attack this place. I will explain why. In Bakhmut, there is still the north part of Bakhmut that is the northwestern part of Bakhmut that is being like captured very quickly by Wagner and the VDV, the Russian army. Then there is a lot of fightings and geolocations in this the AVDIIVKA, like south of Bakhmut to AVDIIVKA frontline. And for the first time, I think I've geolocated. There is two geolocations just next to the city of Dzerzhinsk or Toretsk. I don't know how you pronounce this, because there is two names. For AVDIIVKA, there is fighting as usual, but I don't think it geolocated any any real stuff. In Ugledar, there is map changes, but not. I didn't hear about fightings. In the Velika Novosilka front line, there is fightings going on, especially in the vicinity of Vermenaya. And in the Zaporozhye front line, it's as usual a lot of shelling, bombing, targeted. It's like targeted attacks, but no advances or no attacks. So let's now begin by looking onto what I prepared, the markers. So first, there is two fake news for today. I don't like talking about fake news, fake things like that, but these ones were important because. So the first one I saw was some sort of counterattack from the Ukrainians. I saw people like starting to talk about a counterattack and the Ukrainians capturing like Marfopol, Mezhirich, and Stepanovka, but this did not happen. And yeah, it really like perhaps you even heard about it because on Twitter and things like that, a lot of people were starting to talk about this, but it never happened. The Ukrainians never talked about this, so it's fake. So there was no Ukrainian attack here. And the second one is something I saw, but this time coming from the Russians. I don't remember where, but in a video that there was rumors about Russians capturing Remevka, but it never happened. It didn't happen. Remevka is still Ukrainian. So that's what I wanted to talk about for these two places. No, going on to the Vogleda front line, there's a map change. If you remember, on a previous offensive, the the Russians managed to capture this. It was they were filmed here. They were filmed here, but since then there was like no changes, no information. So I removed this advance. It's simple to explain why. Uh, these houses you see here don't exist anymore. So the Russians don't have anywhere to hide. And considering that Vugledar is a town made up of apartment blocks, every where the Russians are here, they are seen from the apartments. So it's not a place that can be held. There is no place here that can be held. So in the video I saw last time, when the Russians were advancing here, they just didn't manage to penetrate Vugledar, so they surely had to move back. They can't be staying here. They had to move back toward this city. I don't know. It's the southern Dachas, I think. But anyway, this is not a place that the Russians are in right now. So next, going on to the AVDIIVKA frontline, we have not that important geolocation, but um, we have this. You see the mountain, like the mine thing in AVDIIVKA that was bombed. I don't know from which side it was taken. Honestly, I did not geolocate anything here. I just saw it was this mountain. I just put the marker on the mountain. I don't know from which direction the video was taken from. Perhaps it's from the south, from the north. I don't know. Just know that was bombing here. Uh, I can at least change this, remove this part as Russian. I forgot to do that. But I don't know from which place the video has been taken from, so I don't know which side of the mountain is filmed. It's not even a mountain; it's like a terricon. I don't know if it's the same word in English. In Russian, it's terricon. It's like mine mountain, something like that. But yeah, the place was bombed as usual. There is this failed assault. If you remember in the previous two videos, I think even there was the footage, the geolocations from some fightings happening in this area, with cars and the soldiers being dropped, soldiers being dropped from cars from the Ukrainian army to try to penetrate this area. I think I found another footage from that moment. So you have a car here. Sorry, it's not good quality, but it's the best thing I could find. There is a car, Ukrainian vehicle, and they dropped the Ukrainians in this position, I think, but they all got shelled. So what happened was, in the video you see something like this. The car was moving, entered from here and tried to penetrate, but could not achieve anything. So that's why there is no map changes. It's not a it's just a surprise attack that failed. So there is in the end no map changes. Look at the view. You have this tree line here. This sort of patch of forest around the, because it's a railroad here. It's a railroad, and you have this patch of forests. These electrical lines. It's this view, as you can see. So yeah, I don't know if it's a new attack or another footage from the same previous attacks we have seen. But anyway, coming on to the next modification, geolocation, you have this geolocation. So you had a video from the DPR, the Donetsk People's Republic soldiers that destroyed a tank, Ukrainian tank. So the video was taken from far, from a distance, and they destroyed the tank with a missile, guided missile, anti-tank missile. And the view is something like this. So yeah, the tank was in between the two. You see that? The tank was here. And the video, I believe, is just taken from this. Like, there's no map changes, no map changing here. But yeah, it's interesting because I usually find nothing coming out of this front line. And actually, if you know, this front line is exactly the same as in 2000, as before the war started. Because yes, since the war started, it's still the same border between Ukraine and the DPR. And there is this interesting geolocation. Um, so let me show you. You see Ukrainians here being shelled, and I quite made it took me a lot of time to find it, but I ended up finding it. It's this exact view. Yeah, you see there is two roads like this and this one joining. It's a railroad. It's a railroad too. This shape here, this. Yeah, it's this view. So it's interesting because it forced me to change the map. Let me show you what changed. So yeah, before I used to map it as Russian. Now it's Ukrainian, and yeah, it's not like I know the footage is just here, but I removed all of this area because I don't know. It just looks perhaps like more serious. I doubt that if the Ukrainians were here, I doubt that the Russians would be here. Because if they were here, I don't think they would need artillery. There will be direct fightings. But anyway, I stopped here so people don't tell me I'm mapping it like with no informations. But yeah, it's interesting the Ukrainians here because they now have just a single railroad from there to cross back into the south of Bakhmut area. Um, Coming on to Bakhmut, there is, as usual, a lot of fightings, and as I told you, there is advances from Wagner in the north. Let me just show you the differences. So the difference from the 14 April. So the 14 April is this, and it's now. And there is also this information. There was a Ukrainian counterattack here at Khromove, and the counterattack at Khromove took back this area. Apparently, they even after that tried to move through like along this field to penetrate more, but they were stopped. And I don't know if after they were stopped, the Russian took back this part of Khromove or not. But in just in case, I let it as Ukrainian. Um, so not going on to the northern Bakhmut front line, there was a failed assault on Sakoidan city. I don't know, like I didn't have any map changes since it's a failed assault, but it's the first time since the Russians captured that they mentioned this town is mentioned somewhere. As you can see, it's just a few houses. But I don't. I hear a lot of people saying that this town is very strategically important. Honestly, I don't believe it is. Yeah, it's not. It's just few houses. Yes, there is this road crossing. Like this, the Russians control these roads. But honestly, the Ukrainians have some other ways to manage to go from one side to the other. It's not really that important. If it was important, trust me, the Ukrainians would just not do a single assault in few months. In the Spirne area or Spornoye, you have this geolocation of Ukrainian troops being shelled. Yeah, you have this electrical plant or something like this. You had in the video, you saw that there was like five to 10 soldiers in it. So it's this area, which is funny because I will talk about it in my upcoming series of strategy video. Is that you see a lot of YouTubers saying, "Oh, there is 40,000 soldiers in the north part. The Ukrainians are moving another 30,000 soldiers for unblocking Bakhmut. Yeah, no, I still saw no fucking videos of 100,000 soldiers say somewhere, things like that. In Veseloye, there's at most 30 soldiers fighting. In Spirne, there's at most like 100 soldiers. At the fucking most in this whole area. There is not 30,000, 14,000 soldiers, something like that. When you hear that there is 14,000 soldiers for this front line, it means that this front line needs 14,000 soldiers to be maintained. So there is like 1,000 soldiers actually on the front line fighting, or just on the front line, and the other 13,000 soldiers are behind, uh, bringing munitions, doing this stuff, intelligence, things like that. Uh, but don't worry, I will talk about it, and I hope you will watch this video, the upcoming video, strategy videos that will be posting soon. So you have a geolocation in Criminaya that forced me to change the map. Uh, and I'm the only one that changed the map this way, because if you go check like a Syriac map, ISW map, or things like that, they did not change anything. You have this footage of Ukrainians being shelled in this part. If you check, it's this view. So let me just show you. It's this view. You even see behind Bilogorovka and things like that. I really liked the footage. You see behind, you see the sort of mountains. I don't know if you even can see them, but there is all the forest, and you see this shape here. When I'm moving my mouse, there is this shape here, and these are all these fucking little shapes. You have the same shape here, the smaller one. And if you wanna stop on the video and look yourself, do it. But it's interesting because it means that if the footage is really from the 17th of April, so from today, then it means that the Ukrainians are a lot farther inside the forest than previously thought. Because yeah, previously it was like this, and now it's like this. And I'm asking you to look at the other mappers, because the other mappers like map this place, the front line like this. Let me show you. Um, for them, like the front line is more akin to this. Which isn't like, you will agree that there is a lot of territories that isn't Russian. There is no proofs for these parts to be Russians, and I showed you the proofs that these parts are actually Ukrainians. With the geolocation that previously made here, there's this geolocation here. There is the geolocations in this whole area. So my mapping is perhaps the best one you can find right now. And now we finished, I think, because there is no single geolocations from the front line, which shows very well that there is like very little things happening right now in this front line. Thanks for watching, and see you for the next video. Bye bye.